Good morning everyone. Welcome in my online classroom. I am Mohammad Jaman, Associate Professor and Chairman Tourism and Hospitality Management, Mohammadpur Kendriya College, Dhaka. First of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Principal, Professor Sir Jafar Ali Sir, gives his permission and advices to conduct the online classes. Student, I hope you all are well because of the COVID-19 breakout in the pandemic situation of the world. We are bound to stay at home. We are stay at home, but it does not mean we can sit idle. We have to work for our next days. Today I will take your online class on fundamentals of management, BBA professional first year second semester, and also discuss the about chapter 6 leading. Now the question is being discussed below. The first question, what is leading? And second question, discuss the characteristics or feature of leading. And the third question, importance, needs for leadership. So the student business have much more skill and scope from those side. Now the question is being discussed below. And the first question, what is leadership? That is important question in this chapter. If you look out in practical side, then you have studied theoretical side, then you have to solve the problem is very nicely. And the leadership or leading, leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization, or the ability to do this. The meaning of leadership are guidance, direction, authority, control, management, superintendence, supervision, etc. A leader is one who guides and directs other people. He gives the effort of his followers a direction and purpose by influencing their behavior. Some of the important definition of leadership are given below. Chester I. Barnard defined leadership is the ability of a superior to influence the behavior of his subordinates and persuade them to follow a particular course of action. According to Kunjo and O'Donnell defines, leadership is the ability of a manager to introduce subordinates to work with confidence and zeal. George R. Terry defined leadership is the activity of influencing people to strive willingly for mutual objectives. And the Robert Appley defined leadership is a means of direction. It is the ability of management to introduce subordinates to work towards group ideas with confidence and keenness. According to Professor Hanson defines leadership is the ability to guide others without force into a direction or decision that levels them, still feeling empowered and accomplishment. From the above discussion, we can find the following characteristics of leadership. Leadership involves establishing a clear vision. It is sharing that vision with others so that they will follow willingly. It is providing the information. Leadership coordinating and balancing the conflicting interests of all members. Finally, we can say that leadership is the process of influencing the activities of an individual or group for goal achievement in a given situation. So the student business studies have much more skill and scope from those sides. And the next question, characteristics of leadership. And the first characteristics of leadership, that is the leadership is a process of influence. That is important characteristics of leadership. Leadership is a process of influence. Number one, leadership is a process of influences. And the second question, leadership is a function of stimulation. And the third point, leadership is related to a particular situation. Leadership is related to a particular situation. And the fourth point, leadership is a shared experience. Shared experience. And the fifth point, leadership is not headship or bosom. Leadership is not headship. And the sixth point, leadership gives a feeling of contribution to common objectives. Leadership gives a feeling of contribution to common objectives. And the 7th point, leadership is an ongoing activity. Leadership implies existence of followers. Leadership implies existence of followers. And the last point, successful leadership leads to goal accomplishment. Successful leadership leads to goal accomplishment. This is the important characteristics of leadership. And the first point, leadership is a process influence. Second point, leadership is a function of situation. Third point, leadership is related to a particular situation. Fourth point, leadership is a shared experience. And the fifth point, leadership is not headship or bossing. And the sixth point, leadership gives a feeling of contribution to common objectives. And the seventh point, leadership is an ongoing activity. And the eighth point, leadership implies existence of followers. And the last point, or 9, successful leadership leads to goal accomplishment. That is the important function. And the first function is leadership is a process of influence. It is exercised by the leader on group members. A successful leader is one who influences the behavior, attitude, and beliefs of these followers. So, leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization, or ability to do this. Leadership are guidance, direction, authority, purpose by influencing their behavior. That is leadership. And the second point, leadership is a function of stimulation. It involves motivational people to strive willingly toward organizational goal. A successful leader is ability to subordinate the individual interest to the common interest of the group. And the third point, leadership is related to a particular situation. Leadership is related to the different situation in the participating, democratic, autocratic, and legislative leader. There are different situation and different things and thinking sometimes, and situational aspect dependence on a leadership process. And the next point, leadership is a shared experience. A good leader shares ideas, experience, and credit with his followers. He lets the subordinates to influence his behavior so that they are satisfied with the type of leadership provided. And the next point, leadership is not headship or bossing. It is important characteristics of leadership. Headship implies exercise of formal authority and control. Whatever leadership involves use of persuasion of influence behavior. Then the next point, leadership gives a feeling of contribution to common objectives. A successful leader creates an environment under which every person feels that he is contributing to the attainment of organizational objectives. That is important characteristics of leadership. And the next point, leadership implies existence of followers. By their willingness to be influenced by the leader, subordinate formalities and the leader's authority and make the leadership process possible. Leadership is a means of direction. It is the ability of management to subordinate to work towards group idea with the confidence and keenness. And the last point, successful leadership leads to goal accomplishment. That is important characteristics or function of leadership. The successful leadership leads to goal accomplishment. Leaders' effort to influence are aimed to some level of achievement. Leadership is the ability to guide others without force into a direction or decision that leaves them still feeling empowered and accomplishment. At last, we can say that the above characteristics of leadership function hold good in any organization, whether it to be political, religious, business, or any other organization. So, leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. And the next question, importance or need for leadership. That is important question in this chapter. And the first point, imperfect organizational structure. Number 1 point, imperfect organization structure. Organization structure. And the second point, technological, economical, and social change. Economical and social change. internal, and the third point, internal imbalance. Internal imbalance. Internal imbalance inspired by growth. Nature of human membership. Nature of human membership. And the fifth point, initiatives action. Six, motivation. 7 point, providing guidance. And the 8 point, creative confidence. And the 9 point, building morale. And the 10 point, builds work environment. And the 11 point, coordination. That is the important or need for leadership. And the first point, imperfect organization structure. And the second point, technological, economical and social change. And the third point, internal imbalance inspired by growth. And the fourth point, nature of human membership. And the fifth point, initiative action. And the sixth point, motivation. And the 7, providing guidance. And the 8, creative confidence. And the 9, building morale. And the 10, builds work environment. And the last point, coordination. That is the importance of leadership. Now the question is being discussed. And the first point, imperfect organizational structure. It is not possible for any organizational structure to provide for all kinds of relationship. This explains the existence of formal group within the framework of a formal organization. So leadership is an important function of management which helps to maximize efficiency and to achieve organizational goals and targeting the achievement goals and earning the profit or other sides. And the next point, technological, economical and social change. In the face of rapid technological, economical and social change, the organization is required to effect suitable change in an operation and style. Only an effective leadership can enable it to meet the challenge posed by environmental factors. And the next point, internal imbalance inspired by growth. That is importance in the leadership. As an organizational growth is size and complexity, it may develop certain imbalance. For example, increase in organizational activities may lead to increase in the levels of management. So leadership, only an effective leadership can steer the organization through such situation. And the next point, nature of human membership. That is importance in this question. The significance of leadership also stems from the nature of human membership in organizational setting. People forming an organization are members of several organizations. Human membership is an organization involves only a part of the individual. And the next point, initiative action. Leader is a person who starts the work by communicating the policies and plan to the subordinate from where the work actually start. Properly starting the work, then the organizational activities successful. And the next point, motivation. A leader provides to be playing an incentive role in a concern working. He motivates the employee with economic and non-economic reward and thereby gets the work from the subordinates. And motivation is the main things or purpose of developing the organizational activities. And the next point, providing guidance. A leader has to not only supervise but also play a guiding role for the subordinates. Guidance here means instructing the subordinates the way they have to perform their work effectively and efficiently. And the next point, creative confidence. Confidence is an important factor which can be achieved through expressing the work effort to the subordinates, explaining them clearly their role and giving them guidance to achieve the goals effectively. It is also important to hear the employees with regards to their complaints and problems. And the next point, building morale. That is important question or importance in this question, building morale. Morale denotes willing cooperation of the employees towards their work and getting them into confidence with winning their trust. A leader can be a morale booster by achieving full cooperation so that they perform with best of their ability as they work to achieve goals. And the next point, builds work environment. Management is getting things done from people, and efficient work environment helps in sound and stable growth. Therefore, human relations should be kept into mind by a leader. He should have personal contact with employees and should listen to their problems and solve them. And the last point, coordination. That is important in this question is coordination. Coordination, that means marketing, management, accounts, finance, manpower, all of the departments are coordination to the leader. And successful coordination, then the leader working successfully. So coordination can be achieved through reconciling personal interest of an organization goal. Coordination is effective, which should be primary motive of a leader. Finally, we can say that the good leadership is essential to business, to government, and to the group and organization that shape the way we live, work, and play. Leadership is an important factor for making an organization successfully. At the end of my class, enjoy it. We pray for everyone Almighty. I am requesting you stay at home and be safe.